Mount Sinai, also known as Mount Horeb, is a mountain in the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt that is a possible location of the biblical Mount Sinai. The latter is mentioned many times in the Book of Exodus and other books of the Bible, and the Quran. According to Jewish, Christian, and Islamic tradition, the biblical Mount Sinai was the place where Moses received the Ten Commandments. Geography. Mount Sinai is a 2,285-meter moderately high mountain near the city of St. Catherine in the Sinai region. It is next to Mount Catherine. It is surrounded on all sides by higher peaks of the mountain range. Geology. Mount Sinai's rocks were formed in the late stage of the Arabian-Nubian Shield's evolution. Mount Sinai displays a ring complex that consists of alkaline granites intruded into diverse rock types, including volcanics. The granites range in composition from sienogranite to alkali feldspar granite. The volcanic rocks are alkaline to peralkaline, and they are represented by subaerial flows and eruptions and subvolcanic porphyry. Generally, the nature of the exposed rocks in Mount Sinai indicates that they originated from differing depths. Religious significance. The biblical Mount Sinai is one of the most important sacred places in the Jewish and Christian and Islamic religions. According to Bedouin tradition, it was the mountain where God gave laws to the Israelites. However, the earliest Christian traditions place this event at the nearby Mount Serbal, at the foot of which a monastery was founded in the 4th century. It was only in the 6th century that the monastery moved to the foot of Mount Catherine. Following the guidance of Josephus's earlier claim that Sinai was the highest mountain in the area, Christians settled upon this mountain in the 3rd century AD. Georgians from the Caucasus moved to the Sinai Peninsula in the 5th century, and a Georgian colony was formed there in the 9th century. Georgians erected their own churches in the area of the modern Mount Sinai. The construction of one such church was connected with the name of David the Builder, who contributed to the erecting of churches in Georgia and abroad as well. There were political, cultural and religious motives for locating the church on Mount Sinai. Georgian monks living there were deeply connected with their motherland. The church had its own plots in Kartli. Some of the Georgian manuscripts of Sinai remain there, but others are kept in Tbilisi, St. Petersburg, Prague, New York, Paris, or in private collections. Some modern biblical scholars now believe that the Israelites would have crossed the Sinai Peninsula in a direct route, rather than detouring to the southern tip, and therefore look for the biblical Mount Sinai elsewhere. According to some scholars, the Song of Deborah suggests that God dwelt at Mount Sinai, so many scholars favor a location in Nabatea. Alternatively, the biblical descriptions of Sinai can be interpreted as describing a volcano, and so a small number of scholars have considered equating Sinai with locations in northwestern Saudi Arabia, such as Jabal al-Lawz. There are no volcanoes in the Sinai Peninsula. St. Catherine's Monastery. St. Catherine's Monastery lies on the Sinai Peninsula, at the mouth of an inaccessible gorge at the foot of modern Mount Sinai in St. Catherine at an elevation of 1,550 meters. The monastery is Greek Orthodox and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. According to the UNESCO report and website hereunder, this monastery has been called the oldest working Christian monastery in the world, although the monastery of St. Anthony, situated across the Red Sea in the desert south of Cairo, also lays claim to that title. Ascent. There are two principal routes to the summit. The longer and shallower route, Site el-Bashait, takes about 2.5 hours on foot, though camels can be used. The steeper, more direct route is up the 3,750 steps of penitence in the ravine behind the monastery summit. The summit of the mountain has a mosque that is still used by Muslims. It also has a Greek Orthodox chapel, constructed in 1934 on the ruins of a 16th-century church, that is not open to the public. The chapel encloses the rock which is considered to be the source for the biblical tablets of stone. At the summit also is Moses' cave, where Moses was said to have waited to receive the Ten Commandments.